I have no way to tell that
Yeah.
other than this green light is on. So,
What was the temperature running in there today?
um, actually, right now, when I first got in here, and I don't know why it was saying it was hung. It seemed like it was hung on 80 degrees and it was cycling. But I went and redid the temperature on it, reset it.
Yeah, because it was only 85 degrees
Well,
out here.
it's already brought it down to 73.
Ah,
So today the mild temperatures worked. All right, we ready to go?
yeah.
Let me see if I can do this without screwing it up.
Yeah, I got the printer queued up after this 120-page document. There's an 8-page document.
Good Lord.
So, yeah,
I hope your ink is cheap.
just helping my niece out,
All right. Here we go. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 353. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. My co-host, Mel OG Robbins. We are with Sons of Liberty Riders MC. We are the founder and co-founder of the Sons of Liberty Riders MC also. And we sponsor this show each and every week, along with a little help from our friends. And good evening, Mel. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm wondering whether I'm really retired or not at this point, but
Yeah.
other than that, just doing fine.
Well, it takes a while to print out 128 pages or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I just about an hour ago printed out an 80-some-odd page document, and I did my entire physical therapy during that printout. So,
Yeah. Okay, Mel. Let's start out. Now, hey, look, we're just now. What are we? 3 or 4 days away from the event in Milam County. I'm getting excited. I'm getting pumped. I'm ready to go. So, and today, even though it was a mild day, I spent my time working on what we're going to say in front of the crowd, in front of the bikers there in Milam County, and also working to make sure we have everything in place. And I want everybody to know we have our permit, which is our Constitution. That's the only permits we need to hold this rally. It's the only permit we need to be in front of the courthouse on a publicly owned sidewalk. So we're ready to go. How about you, Mel?
yeah, as a matter of fact, I want to study the statute on what constitutes a criminal gang in Texas before we have that event, because I think we need to talk about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people need to be aware of just how dangerous that statute is and how easy it is for virtually anybody to end up in the Texas criminal gang database.
Yes.
You are at the whim of the officer who stops you on the side of the road.
Exactly.
And if he makes the determination that he doesn't like what you're all about, if you're packing a piece, he's going to take that away from you. He'll void and cancel your concealed weapon permit, and he'll enter your name in the criminal gang database. And if your name is already in the criminal gang database for unknown reasons, he will, if you have a weapon, take it away from you, cancel your license to carry, and you will be charged with criminal carry.
There you go.
So, it's a frickin' nightmare any way you cut it. You want to talk about overreach of law enforcement and living in a police state. I'm beginning to feel like this has become a third world country.
Exactly, Mel. And one of the things we're going to invite our attorney on to the next show, or have a special show with him, because he and I, if you saw us over there talking before the meeting on Sunday, we were having a little sidebar about just what you're talking about. And I was saying to him, we were talking about the whims of the police officer that may have you pulled over and may be asking you to these various questions about you, your club, or even taking you to jail for a minor traffic violation. And, in cases, confiscating your weapon, even though you have a CHL. And in some cases, confiscating your weapon and not even charging you with anything. So there's no standard there. But Bill and I were over there kind of just friendly going back and forth. I'm talking about the police officers, and he's going, well, wait a minute. He said, it's not in particular the police officer, it's the gatekeepers of that database. There's supposed to be a certain criteria for you to get into that. And they're not following it. And that's the reason we're getting people into the database that doesn't belong there. And I'm livid about it, Mel. I'm livid about it.
Well, therein lies another problem when you start talking about the database, because nobody has a clear-cut idea or knowledge or fact of exactly how many databases exist in this state and under whose control they follow. They fall under. We know DPS has one or many. It could just depend on how many of those little centers they have around the state, and maybe they've got it divided up to geographic areas for those centers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have local police departments, because, the way that other statute is written that you and I discovered, that any county with a population of 250,000 or more must either maintain their own criminal database by law, or must contribute to the state criminal gang database.
Exactly.
Now, how confusing can we get about the whole damn thing?
Wow.
You want to talk about a virtual swamp? That's a swamp.
As Gordon Ramsay would say, where's the standards? Because it seems to us that there are no standards, and we've got these people investigating. Nobody can see these databases outside law enforcement. Nobody can know what's in them. Nobody can verify that anybody really belongs there or not. It is the gatekeepers, and the gatekeepers right now are doing a shitty job.
Yeah, and we're not even real sure who the hell the gatekeepers are.
Exactly. It's like the case we're talking about in Milam County right now. The DPS officer that has made charges against a biker for criminal carry. He's got a worse record. He's got a bad record, and the biker in question has a pristine record, has served his country for 24 frickin' years, has been to every hellhole the country has sent our troop over the last 24 years, and he also is a Purple Heart recipient, a 2-time Bronze Star recipient, been to Afghanistan or Iraq, and I forget which one, twice. I mean, come on. Come on. And so we're going down to Milam County to seek redress from the people. Because they're the ones that have could have the final decision here. And it's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Once again, you get to the possibility of jury nullification, where the public can sit there and they can say, you know, this is all bullshit.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, Mel, we also found out at the meeting on Sunday that you remember the Ellis County mess that was going on, where they were stopping bikers and groups. And in particular, they were stopping the Mirasa MC Club. And Mel, they stopped about 13 of them, and every one of them ended up in the gang database. Every one of them. They're not listed as an outlaw motorcycle gang anywhere that I see or that I read in that frickin' report that's a piece of crap. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, they're not listed anywhere as anything. I mean, they're well known as a family-oriented motorcycle club. Great group of people. And, you know, it's further testimony of how hosed up the system is. I mean, we have one of our own members, and we are in no way a support club.
That's right.
Are political activists. We have a member of ours that hasn't even been able to ride a motorcycle for the last 3 to 4 years because of a bad head injury. So he drives a support vehicle for us. He's never been in trouble in his life, has a security clearance, works in an area that requires that clearance. And he makes an inquiry, as we've advised everyone to do, and it comes back and says, you're in the database.
Yeah.
Now, how the hell did that happen?
Exactly, Mel. I mean, come on. And we encourage everybody to go to TexasBikerRadio.org and find in the news and comments section the article that sends you to that link where you can check and see if you're in the gang database. Because I can promise you, if you've been into any major event anywhere in the state where other clubs gather, you could end up in that gang database because the crazy son of a guns are out taking pictures of license plates. And we had that happen to our Houston chapter when they came up to visit us here in the DFW area. The police were outside their hotel rooms taking pictures of their license plates, and they didn't have any kind of insignias on their motorcycle that identified them as an outlaw motorcycle gang.
Nope, you just had a group of bikes sitting in front of a motel.
That's right. Police said that when they discovered they were out there, the police said, well, we just wanted to see who was here. We heard there might be some outlaw motorcycle gangs in the area. Bullshit. I mean, they have nothing better to do than chase bikers around who are not part of the problem of everything that's going on within this state, within the DFW North Texas area, where drugs are running rampant, where crime is running rampant, where murder is running rampant. I mean, it's not the bikers. And that's freaking common sense, Mel. That's common sense. But it seems to be nowhere within these police organizations, within the state legislature, within the frickin' governor's office. It seems to be nowhere because all they can talk about is, our gang initiative. And
Well, you know what part of the problem is? Part of the problem is that regular crime isn't sexy enough to help them bolster their budget and create task forces.
there you go.
But if they can create enough propaganda about the motorcycle community and the supposed gangs and criminals that exist within the community, they have the sex appeal to create these task forces.
Hmm.
And they get the money.
Yeah.
It's just like our wonderful governor, Abbott.
Yeah.
Before the election, he wanted, the order was out, the DPS, to stop and profile every motorcycle you can and get people in the gang database. He was on a platform where he fights crime, and so was the supposed Attorney General. They wanted that crime platform, and the only way they could do it was to go for what they deemed low-hanging fruit, which was the biker community.
Yeah. You know, Mel, they'll always get up there and mention MS-13. They'll always get up there and mention them, but who they go after? The guys on the motorcycles, the easy targets. Just my opinion.
Because we're not criminals. They go after MS-13. They better go heavily armed, because those are damn sure some criminals with some serious firepower.
Right.
Or big machetes.
Mm-hmm.
Take your pick.
Yeah. And you know, Mel, I know, like we saw with Vagos MC, where they stood there and endured just the most hateful talk from the gang unit, and in particular Sergeant Steroid. And, they stood there, endured that, complied with all their demands. And, your hat's got to be off to bikers, because they're treated like crap. And those that have been hauled to jail for minor traffic violations, they're disheartened over it.
Oh, yeah. That's another cute thing about this state. And those nightmare traffic laws that are passed, where virtually the only two things you can't be hauled off to jail for if you're stopped on a traffic stop.
Listen to this, everybody.
And cited is if you're speeding or you have an open bottle. God help you if you get stopped for anything else and the cop wants to haul your ass to jail. They can do it. They can do it for failure to signal, failure to put your foot down at an intersection if you're on a motorcycle. They've issued tickets for parade formation, whatever the hell that is. Is that peg to peg or what? Going through an intersection too fast, or starting from a stop, accelerating too fast.
We've seen it all.
Man, to be taken to jail because you failed to signal or you made too wide a turn.
Mel,
at an intersection.
Mel, we checked with our attorney. Yes, they can take you to jail over a traffic violation. They can. But is it ethical? They're not doing that to everybody. It's not happening to the public in general.
But the problem is they can do it if they want to.
Right.
It's a police state. And the other thing that's hilarious is every law enforcement department in this state, by virtue of the definition of a gang, is a gang.
Yeah.
They qualify as being a gang. They fit the description.
Yes, they do.
probably more so than the biking community because they commit more crimes. Their officers commit more crimes than the biking community at large. I mean, realize we have, and I heard this figure thrown around Sunday. I have no reason to disbelieve it. We have 500,000 registered motorcycles in the state of Texas.
Close to it.
That's a lot of riders.
And we need, we need you independents out there to participate. Nobody's going to bite you. No one's there that is within our sphere is going to disrespect you unless you give disrespect. And then, that's a whole other thing because you're dealing with the MC culture. But nobody's there to just go out and give you shit. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. And so we invite you to our rally. We invite you to ride down there with us. We're going to be meeting on Saturday, July 27th. Kickstands will be up at 9 p.m. and they'll be heading down to Milam County. Now that's over a 2-hour ride. But hey,
Well, I just
we're Texans.
I just talked to the road captain today.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Popeye, we'll be assembling at Redneck Heaven in Arlington, right across from Six Flags, and we'll be kickstands up at 9 a.m. And the first stop is about 80 to 90 miles out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge refueling area. So, we're not going to pull up to 8 pumps.
Right.
And expect everyone to fuel up in 10 minutes. You'll have, everyone will be able to pull up, fuel up, get a bottle of water, walk around for a few minutes, and then we'll take off.
That's for you guys that might have a peanut tank.
Yep. We're not going 100 miles.
That's right. So
we're going 80 some odd miles.
And you'll be able to get some water and whatever. The temperature is supposed to be in the low 90s. And so, that's a good thing. And all these things, we always have a good time. We make new friends. And we certainly invite you to join us. Mel, I mean, today I arranged a meeting. Our SA doesn't know it yet. SA Geezer, he and I are having lunch with our political consultant tomorrow. And we're going to talk to him, and then we're going to start beating on some doors about this mess. I promise you that we're going to reel some of this in. And now that we're getting the data, and this is the reason we're asking you to check and see if you're in that database. If you feel you do not belong in that database, let us know. Let us know. Because as we know right now, there are people with no criminal histories that are in that database. And we suspect there's many, many like that. And so, let's get together. Let's get this done. Let's reel this in. This is about our constitutional rights, everybody. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment. We can probably add a couple more in there. And it's time we stand up. And we're going to have some things to say as we go along here. And we continue our investigation. Mel, that's what they like to call now, whenever they stop you on the side of the road, their investigation.
Oh,
well,
they
by
try to
God, we got
legitimize what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. Or I'm not doing this to harass you. What the hell are you doing? You're going to ask a bunch of stupid questions, and then you to put me in a database and then haul me off to jail? Are you kidding me? That's not harassment. You impound my damn motorcycle. It cost me a week's salary to get it out. You hurt my family monetarily. Really? That's not harassment? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's like you said. That's not the only problem. You get stopped and they decide to haul you off.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your bike impounded. You're gonna get all of your personal effects seized and supposedly inventoried.
Mm-hmm.
Damned lucky to get all that back. They're going to get their hands on your cell phone. God knows when you'll get that back, if ever. And it just goes on and on and on. And we talk about us. Who's us? It's not just people in clubs. It is everybody that's on a motorcycle.
That's right.
Because they're going to come for everybody.
Yes.
They have been. They have stopped individuals that aren't even wearing a cut.
Yep.
Aren't even wearing a patch. They'll stop them.
Yeah. Mel, when the governor says, well, anybody that even looks like a gang member, what is that? Who is that? I guess, nobody got the message that our patches are constitutionally protected. Seems like nobody got that memo. That's part of First Amendment speech.
That's right.
So, come on. There's no guilty by association law anywhere in this country. But yet that's what's happening. You not agree with that, Mel?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, for them to be able to put you in a criminal gang database when you have not been convicted of anything.
Yes.
And even if you committed a sin years ago, why would you be in a database like that?
Mel, you're not even, unless they write you up, unless they give you a charge like criminal carry, you don't have your day in court. You're not able to face your accuser.
That's
you
right.
may not even know who did that and how you ended up there. I mean, this is so freaking upsetting. It's incredible that it's happening in this country. Now, we know why they created these damn databases, but it's gone beyond the scope of what it was intended for. And like Paul said, thank you, G.W. Bush. We're constitutional conservatives, but we're not at all bashful about bashing Republicans, conservatives that need to be bashed. And then one thing in particular is not figuring out the ramifications of these laws and these entities that you create. Because as we've seen, you give some law enforcement entities an inch, they will take a mile and then add to it. And that's what we're seeing here, I think, Mel. Did I lose you?
No. I'm listening.
But I mean, come on. I mean, we've got to work together to reel this in or end it. And that surely was done in Chicago when they found out their gang databases, and they're talking about real gang databases that was full of just crap. And I have no reason to believe that it's not the same way here in Texas.
Now, you know, Bill mentioned to us, didn't he say something about there was a suit filed in Illinois over that database?
Yes, there was.
But I don't think we ever heard what the outcome was.
When we get him on, we're going to find out. Because he knows. But let's put it this way. It was a shock to their system. But, you know, they may have people that have some scruples about them. I doubt it, but you can always hope. You can always hope. You know, Mel, and let's talk about maybe some parallels between what's going on in Milam County and what happened down in Waco. And as everybody knows, we had an outcome in Waco where they had tried to send innocent bikers to jail, put them under, well, they did send them to jail, and under $1 million bonds. And then, you know, what they were trying to do is prosecute them, send them to prison for up to 45 years. And they hadn't done anything but go to a political meeting. And as Mel, as we know, the all this was done without a proper police investigation. The police had actually colluded with other entities to make sure that that everybody ended up in that parking lot. The police failed to notify the organizers of that meeting of their concerns. Now, if you're really concerned, you go to everybody. If you're really concerned, that morning when the place was loading up with bikers from all these different clubs, and they knew that two clubs had a problem with each other, why didn't they go into the parking lot and said, "Not today, boys. Not today. Send them all home." Instead, they hid, waiting for something to happen. And, you know, it's in our view, they instigated it. And this is one of the reasons that, you know, I don't think they wanted any more trials. Because that was going to come out. That's in our view. That was going to come out. And so, besides the fact that we had an honest DA in office for a change, that was a good choice. And we were proud to work on his campaign. And so, you know, I know it took some balls to go against the grain there in Waco. Because they're used to getting their way with everybody in that county. And that some of those entities are still there. The major player in that everything that went on, Abel Reyna, is gone. Thanks to our club and others like Los Paradas MC and the faithful 40 that would show up about every time we had a rally and protest. And it took 4 years of hanging, of being persistent, to have an effect in that county. And we're going to do the same thing with Milam County. We're going to seek redress from the people. And you politicians down there should pay attention. Because once we grab something, we tend to hang on.
Yeah, I thought, when you mentioned Waco, and I heard Paul talking this weekend, it was kind of remarkable that you've got a political meeting going on, which is what the Texas Council of Clubs and Independents is all about. You have a political meeting going on, and all of a sudden you have a group show up that has never participated, never come, and they were showing up just to cause trouble.
Yeah.
And I guess when you look at it that way, it was like it was a setup.
Mm-hmm.
We always kind of intimated that this was some kind of a thing that Reno wanted to have happen so he could make his push for the Capitol.
Yeah. Well, I think actually it was Waco PD that instigated all that, and plus those two morons in the DPS. They're kind of the instigators of it all. Abel Reyna saw an opportunity, and then he tried to run with it. But he was a fool. He was a fool. I say that honestly and boldly. And he couldn't see what was really out in front of him because he was dreaming of the governor's mansion. And so, nobody's going to take down any of these motorcycle clubs. They're going to continue. They're going to grow. And that's just the fact of it, the nature of it. There's always going to be military guys looking for that brotherhood. And, it's always going to be. It doesn't matter whether they like it or not. And it doesn't matter what lies they tell, what kind of innuendos they throw out there, or how many arrests they make. I don't want to talk about what I'm going to say Saturday. And so I'm tempted to, but I'm not going to. Because we've definitely got some promises to make. And I'll try everything I know, every political move we can make to change what's going on now. It's not right. It's not common sense. It's horrible, is what it is. And we know, once again, that motorcycle clubs are not street gangs. They're just not. And I think a lot of police officers know that also. And so, Mel, that's where we're at.
Yes, it is. And I can't encourage everyone out there, independent riders, even some of the clubs that have yet to participate in the Texas Council of Clubs and Independents. And note, I say and independence because that's what we're about. You need to participate. Come to the meetings. Listen to what's going on, because all we talk about is pending legislation in this state, bikers' rights in this state. Occasionally we'll get into what's going on a national level, because we do, on occasion, have a call to action for national legislation. As a matter of fact, I had forgotten about this, but it was brought up that, gosh, what was it, 3-4 years ago? Popeye, you and I and Paul went to see
Dr. Burgess.
Burgess.
Yeah, Congressman Burgess.
Congressman Burgess, and he's a federal representative of this state. We went to go and see him and chat with him, and I still remember his office staff was all standing at the window waiting to see us pull up because they fully expected us to be on motorcycles.
Yeah.
And we had caged it that day. And they were all, I think, a little disappointed. But in talking with Burgess, Burgess ended up being one of the sponsors of the federally passed motorcycle profiling bill.
Yes, he did.
So, that was an accomplishment. And so we get involved. And we're getting involved now for the next Texas state legislation, which is going to be in, about 18 months?
Yeah.
But now is the time to strike and to get this stuff lined up. And we need everybody in attendance, everybody to participate. With 500,000 registered motorcycles in the state of Texas, that is one hell of a voting block.
Mel, this rally on July 27th, this is our first time down in Milam County. It is so important that we have good participation at this rally. With almost 500,000 motorcycles in this state, we shouldn't have a problem getting 500 to 1,000 motorcycles into any particular spot. Any of them. Whether it be Austin, whether it be Dallas, whether it be Fort Worth, whether it be Parker County, whether it be in front of the damn Lake Dallas Police Department, wherever. I mean, we're going to have a busy summer, a busy fall, and we're not going to let up until we get redress. Either from the people, from our state government, or the federal government. It ain't going to stop. So everybody get ready, participate, join us. I know nobody likes politics, but it's a necessary evil. Because if you don't, that evil will continue to come straight at us. And mark my words, it's evil. It really is. To take away your constitutional rights on the whims of some law enforcement officer or somebody sitting in a room with monitoring a gang database or whatever it is they do there for 24 hours a day, I assume, is wrong. Common sense tells you that the ills that are facing our society, our country, our state, our cities are not the results of motorcycles or motorcyclists. It's just not. Otherwise, we'd be in the news every night. Every night, Mel. Because they love to vilify us.
Yes, they do.
And that's just
we
not
are
the case.
The sons of anarchy, after all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, they use that as an example. And so, it's time to fight back, brothers. It is. Join us July 27th, 1 p.m. in front of the Milam County Courthouse, 102 South Fannin Street in Cameron, Texas. And those of you that are in the DFW, join us, ride with us from Redneck Heaven next to Six Flags. Kickstands up 9 p.m. You can ride with us to Milam County. It's always fun to ride in a group, and especially a large group. Any closing thoughts, Mel?
No, except be there. We need you. We need your participation. This is all about everybody's rights.
Exactly, Mel. And we invite veterans. We invite Second Amendment advocates. Because this upcoming trial is about that in particular. See you there. And ride safe. Good night, Mel.
Good night.